Project Game Day postgame show after one of the worst losses in modern Ravens history, ugliest performances that we have seen in some time. Crew slow to roll in. I'm Glenn. KZ's here. Rita's not in a good mood, as you would imagine. So when we get her, that should be something. And we'll see if we can get Tyus in here. I don't even know if Andrew Steck is planning on joining. It's going to be one of those nights. Look, Project Game Day postgame show is brought to you by 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org. There's no way around this. This was an unmitigated disaster. And we can fixate on any one thing, but when we do that, we're going to be ignoring the 75 other things. This was complete and whole, and every aspect of it was disastrous. And everyone shares responsibility from top down. I don't know who could walk out of this and think that they did their job effectively. KZ, I'll start with you. Your first thoughts.
I agree with everything Rita's been saying for 2 weeks. It's not a good football team. I don't know what they do well. I mean, the first half, the defense held up a little bit. When the offense put them in horrible situations, quarterback didn't play well. Your receivers fumbled the ball, dropped passes. You have no pass rush. Your offensive line is terrible. Emory Jones played, didn't help a lick, as Glenn, you said last week. You don't know if he's any good, and you know, I still don't know, but
Well,
he
I don't know.
wasn't good.
Maybe
He
he'll be good
wasn't.
at some
Maybe
point,
he'll
but
be good
yeah.
at some point, but he's not good now. Um, this defense that they faced in the Bengals is the worst in the league, and our offensive line couldn't handle them. So what are we going to do the rest of the year? The Steelers are better than this team, and they're coming in next week. They're going to watch this tape, and they're going to bring the house. Um, it's not a good football team, and I don't understand the game plans from either side of the ball. Um, and it is what it is. I mean, season's not over. If the Steelers lose tomorrow to the
Well,
Bills,
they,
which
they
could
control
happen,
their own destiny no
they
matter what
still control.
happens.
They do. They control their own destiny. But this is
But
I don't even. We've been using the word mediocre. They're not even mediocre. They're just a bad football team. There's not really much to say. I hope everybody had a lovely Thanksgiving up until the game started. But happy holidays. Appreciate you all. But they're not a good football team.
Rita went ahead and let them ruin her Thanksgiving. She went to the
You
game
a
and is
lie.
out in the
No, I
cold.
didn't.
Yeah, because you're detached.
I went to see
Because
Little John.
because
I'm
you're
not mad at all. I'm smiling. I'm having a good time, friend. I had a good time tonight. I'm not. My Thanksgiving is not ruined by any means.
all
The team
right.
is not.
Go ahead. Give me your thoughts.
Yeah, KZ said, "Oh, the season's not over." Yes, it is. Okay, find something else to do when January comes. I mean, watch football, of course. The Ravens won't be there, or if they do, they're gonna be a first round exit. So, good luck to everybody involved. I've been laughing the whole time. This team stinks. Like you said, from top to bottom, it stinks. You have nothing to look forward to. The one thing I'll push back on maybe a little bit is like, yes, the Steelers are a better football team than the Cincinnati Bengals, 1,000%. But divisional games are very, very weird, and you just never know how those types of games go. That's the one thing that you can just, hang your hat on. I don't hang my hat on anything now. I've given up on this season. Nobody wants to play. Lamar was out there and looked like he didn't want to play. So if he don't want to play, then why would anybody else want to play football? I agree that the play calling is stupid on both sides of the ball. Everybody thought that they was going to do this one thing with Jamar Chase for the whole night, and they didn't do it because they stupid. And so at the end of the day, I've given up on this team for 2025. They don't have it. It is what it is. Am I going to watch every week? Sure, 100%. So we can have these conversations and talk about how bad they are for the rest of the season. But I'm not here to watch them in the hopes of them having some type of playoff push. I actually hope that they don't have a playoff push. And I actually hope that they make some drastic changes this offseason. Maybe the reality has hit, and maybe they will make real decisions about how bad this offensive line is and what they need to do to fix it. Because it's not going to get any better. It's not. It is what it is, like Glenn been saying, and there's nothing that this off season that this in season situation is going to do. So I hope it all crashes down. sometimes you got to crash shit down to build it back up the right way. And that's what I'm hoping. Crash it down. That's all I have to say. And I had a great time. Lil Jon is who I came for, and he definitely did his part. So thank you, Lil Jon, for entertaining me at halftime. And I hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving.
I can't join you in wanting them to crash out. I get it. I can't do it.
That's fine.
I
Look,
understand.
I understand. You
I
don't.
understand.
I understand why you don't. I understand, like, nobody wants to be the person that's like, I still want my team to have a chance. Completely understand that. I get it. I am not the popular opinion here. I want to be like you, Glenn. I want them to win. There's no chance. They don't have a chance against somewhat better football teams. They don't. And we like y'all said earlier, they had literally one of the worst defenses in the National Football League and couldn't do anything with it. Why would I want them to do something? Because when they get to the playoffs, they're going to play with better competition. And I would rather not be embarrassed. And that's where I stand with that. Or maybe you should be embarrassed. Actually, you know what? Go ahead and make the playoffs. Get embarrassed. Get embarrassed on national TV. And maybe that'll make you change some things. But what I know is that the construct of this current football team, whether it be from a personnel perspective or a coaching perspective, is not going to work moving forward. And you're wasting valuable years of Lamar Jackson, who, by the way, looking at that tablet, I hope that tablet was flashing red signs that said you sucked tonight because
right. Like the issue is I can't even say that they're like Lamar's letting them down too. Like that's the reality. Like
1,000%.
Lamar is letting them down
off
too.
The hook, baby.
Yeah. There is no sugarcoating it. Like he was not good the last 2 weeks. He was awful tonight. Andrew Stecca, your initial thoughts.
First of all, happy Thanksgiving, my friends. The thing that stood out to me about this game the most, I mean, we've been talking about the offensive line for virtually the whole season because we knew coming in that was going to be an issue. The defensive line got wrecked by this team today. I mean, this team is not built in the trenches in the way that it needs to be successful in any way, shape, or form. And I think that's the root of why this is a bad football team. They have skill players. They have defensive backs. They have players all over the field who should be making plays. You got to win the line of scrimmage in order to win football games, and they never win the line of scrimmage. They're not. They have nothing. They're not a good football team, like you guys have been saying. And yes, the quarterback was an issue tonight, and I don't know if that's just comes down to the fact that the line can't block for him, or if he's trying to do too much. But man, he looked like he was trying to do way too much.
I don't even know at times if it looked like he was trying to do too much. Like the fumble before the half isn't trying to do too much. It's just it's cockamamie shit.
I just mean with holding on to the ball too long. Like I just mean he's trying to extend plays when plays are not there and running backwards, and he just looks like he's
if you want to say
the interesting thing about tonight was he looked more mobile and was running more than he had been in the last few weeks, but he was still extending plays where they weren't there and not taking advantage of things that appeared to be there. So I don't know what's going on there.
So it's a weird conversation, right? Because I understand where everybody is on the macro, and I get it, and I'm not going to attempt to sell that I think it's a particularly good football team because I don't. And yet, in the micro, there's also still the part where, right, but they left 14 points on the board in the first half that were, there, not just could have been there, that were there. Isaiah Likely fumbled the ball at the half-inch line. Zay Flowers was called for an OPI that is about the softest OPI I ever seen in my entire.
You can call it ticky-tacky.
I disagree. I don't even think it's ticky-tack. I don't think
you can call it ticky-tack, but he extended his arm.
If he extended his arm, then every play the all game is an OPI.
Sure, so that's why I said it's ticky-tacky. That's why I said
but I don't even. That's the thing. I don't even think it was ticky-tack. I think this is one of those things where literally. I've never heard Terry McCauley disagree with an official's call on the field in my life. In my life, I've never heard him do it. That's 14 points. That's a difference right there in 14 points. And do I think that means the Ravens are a good football team? No, but I don't know what this football game is. if those two things don't occur. And
Well,
that's
4 things occurred, so there's that 4 turnovers. So you do
those
know
things.
they're a bad football team. It does, because good football teams don't do that. It's really that simple.
Well, good
It's
thing
black and
is
white.
don't turn the ball over 5 times. I agree with that. But we're having, again, this is macro versus micro. The macro is, I don't disagree. I don't think they're a very good football team. The micro is, it's still a weird-ass game where a couple of things ended up going a different way. And the other part that I can't get away from is the asinine, and this is where the play calling comes in. I am befuddled by what the thought process was getting away from Derrick Henry in the first half.
Because that's what they love to do. They got a good football team.
But the crazy part is they went down by 2 scores and then went back to Derrick Henry.
Yep.
Like the thing that they never do, ever. When they go down by 2 scores, you might as well take the running back out back and put him down old Yeller style in Ravens' recent history. Tonight, they went away from him completely, only to then choose to go back to him after they were down by 2 scores. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And the sequence around the 2-minute warning might be the most bizarre of them all, because the advantage, and I get it, the play was there for Zay Flowers. It should have been a touchdown. But the advantage of getting the ball to start the second half is to try to play make it, take it. Why in the ever-loving F are you throwing the ball to the end zone at the 2-minute warning to give them the ball back and to give up the advantage?
Not a good football team. You know the answer.
It's asinine.
Yeah, but he hit a wide open wide receiver.
I understand that. But why is that the play call?
Because they see, I don't. Why do you make me defend them? My God, you do this every time because the play worked, Glenn. What do you mean? They saw something on film. They said he could make it. It was a perfect route.
Save that for a different spot in the game. Don't use it.
You score. Stop that.
No nonsense, Ken. You know better.
No. I on plays that worked. I get it. I hear what you're saying. But he hit a wide open guy that was 2 yards ahead of him. I mean,
Glenn, you're saying save that. What else do they have? They got to throw everything. They're not doing anything offensively. They've got to throw everything they can.
They were doing lots of things offensively in the first half. They were moving the ball just fine in the first half. They just weren't running it. They had no problem moving the football in the first half. There was not an issue. It wasn't a question of as to whether they could throw the ball or not in the first half. They were throwing the ball fine. And then suddenly at the one spot of the game where you need to make sure that you score and don't give them time to have the ball back, because that's why you defer. Otherwise, stop deferring. Take the ball.
But at that point, the defense was playing really, really well. You know, I mean, they were put in terrible situations. They were holding up.
They were playing well in the red zone. They were not playing really well. They were playing really well in the red zone.
They were getting bend but don't break.
Yeah,
the
ball was being moved just fine.
I don't know. I get where you're coming from, but he hit a wide open wide receiver for a touchdown. Whether you score with 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, 30 seconds left. I get what you're trying to do, but you're also trying to double dip and score twice. That's the ultimate goal there, and they had that. And you were at that point in the game, you're saying, okay, I trust my defense to hold them out of the end zone in a 2-minute drill type situation. I don't have a problem there. I have a problem with a lot of other things that they did offensively.
Yeah, it's the congruency, Ken. You're being dismissive of it. It's incongruent.
I'm not being dismissive of it.
It's incongruent. It's an incongruent decision to make there. If you think it matters to defer and take the ball to start the half, it's because you want that advantage. And to say, maybe they keep him out of the end zone. Maybe they do, but then what did you see that would suggest they weren't going to go right back down the field and get into the red zone and score points?
Because they didn't do it the whole first half.
No, they did. They did score points. Okay, they got into the red zone 4 times.
Okay, I have a hard time picking on that sequence when it worked.
But it goes back to the why did they get away from Derrick Henry in the second quarter?
Oh, I agree.
That's
I agree
the
with
spot.
That. I mean,
right there, the clock is stopped. You have the ability to sit down and say, you know what would be really smart here? To work the clock, get to the half, and score points. And the thing that they just for some reason chose not to do was give the ball to Derrick Henry. Period. Period. They didn't do it. It's comical. And this is the spot. If there's ever a spot,
if
it's
you would,
out of the 2-minute warning to recognize you're on the other side of the field. You've got a great chance to score points. There's no reason to give the other team the ball to say, hey, well, look, if you had the guy in the end zone, it still makes no sense.
Okay, I'm
Run
too tired
the
to
ball.
Do this. I'm too tired to do it. Run the ball. Why? Why?
So that you don't give them the ball back.
Why? So what?
Oh, my
So
God.
what?
Casey. Now, you being contrarian.
I don't
to
know
me
what.
right
Yeah,
now.
I don't know what
No,
happened.
because I'm
you know
like,
everything Clint's saying makes 100% sense. And now
this is
you
wild.
not on that one. I mean,
Your
like,
Thanksgiving must have been terrible. You must have
I had a
terrible.
great Thanksgiving. I had a lovely day. Football was good until
Oh.
8:30.
No, it wasn't. Look, the first 2 games was good.
That's what I said. I said till 8:30. The football was
God.
good. 2 entertaining games. I don't know.
Let's bring in Tyus and see if he can help us make sense of anything that occurred tonight. The Project Gameday postgame show is brought to you by the Costas Inn and the all-new Costas Inn, now open in Timonium. Former Ravens linebacker Tyus Bowser is with us. Tyus, can you help us here, because there ain't much good that we have to say about anything that occurred tonight.
Well, I can probably say that it is Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to everybody.
Happy
I
Thanksgiving.
had some good food, so I think that was the one good thing that happened tonight. But outside of that, no, it was just a rough day for Baltimore. I ain't gonna lie to you. It just didn't go well, and on either side.
A couple of things that have come up that I want to discuss, right? The defense was bending but not breaking in the first half and started breaking in the second half. What goes along with that, Nate Wiggins left the field at the end of the first half. Tyus, how much of what happened defensively in the second half do you think was related to that, or do you think it was inevitable for a team that just wasn't getting pressure against a good quarterback?
I think it was the second part, just not getting pressure on the quarterback. Joe was going in all cylinders. He was playing very well tonight, and with Wiggins not being out there, that's a defender that can go out there and disrupt plays. And unfortunately, that wasn't the case. And when you're moving that ball so well, it's kind of hard to get your defense under control because the offense isn't doing too well. And then you get on defense and they're moving the ball. So it really just kind of disrupts the entire aura and the energy of the defense going out there.
How do you explain them completely going away from Derrick Henry in the first half?
I literally came in with y'all talking about, and I was like, yeah, I'm just like everybody else in here. I have no idea why you just get away from Derrick Henry when he was doing so well in the first half. The game was going well for the most part, in certain ways. But like when you get away from your running game, I mean, that really kind of just messes up the whole entire operation of the offense because now you became one dimensional. And now what they're going to do is just continue to pressure you because they know that the offensive line isn't going to hold up. They know that when Lamar's out there and when he's not confident in your O-line to pick up blitzes and guys is coming out free and all of that, I mean, it's hard to really get yourself going. And obviously we've seen that with Lamar where he was just not in the right groove the whole game.
Hey, but other than that, other than all that, everything's great. The Nate Wiggins thing, by the way, looked really bad. Like on top of everything else, that looks like a missed time type of injury, and obviously we all know what's ahead, and that is disastrous. We will see. Obviously, like hopefully we'll get an update on that, but that appears to be disastrous. Did Marlon or Awuzie go down? Jeff Zrebeck tweeted out the defense just lost their top corners. Did I miss something? Did either of them get hurt as well?
I did not see either get hurt, and I didn't hear anybody say
Maybe he
anything.
meant to say one of their top corners. Maybe that's what he meant to say.
Maybe.
But I just saw that tweet and I got a little. I don't know what the story is on that. the Lamar of it all, Tyus, what do you make? Because like we're all, the injuries are one thing, but as was pointed out by a couple people, he actually looked about as mobile and fluid in the first half as we had seen him. But I mean, some of these were just unfathomable. I mean, like unfathomable. And not just the turnovers, but the misses. I mean, Mark Andrews
A
wide
lot of
open,
misses.
just misses. Zay Flowers in the middle of the field, missed. Like, what do you make of what it is that you're seeing from Lamar right now?
I mean, he's just out of rhythm. Whether that's from the plays that's going on, whether that's the confidence in your O line, or the game plan that Cincinnati has to continue to bring in blitzes or switch it up on them to make them hold the ball, knowing that their D line is going to get there in some type of way. I mean, you could just see that he was just out of rhythm. I mean, from the simple throws to the flares to the middle of the field to deep passes. I mean, he was like really off. Like I can understand just a tad bit too high for guys and things like that, but like he's throwing this 6 yards past people. He's throwing it 2, 3 yards short for people, and it's just like this is not Lamar Jackson at all. And like you said in the beginning of the game, moving very well. I was actually happy to see that he
Mm-hmm.
was being more aggressive on the ground game to try to make plays and really try to get down the field. But I mean, the throwing part was just really rough, and I haven't really seen that from Lamar in a minute. So that was really tough to see.
Yeah, I mean, before he got hurt this year, I think we would all said he was as precise as he had looked as a passer as far as placement was concerned at any point in his career. And that's, I think, the alarming part about this is that I have no idea how to explain. It's one thing to be rattled by to say, hey, yeah, we all see the offensive line that's in front of you, but some of these, everything's there. He's got all the time in the world to set and throw, and they're just nowhere close. I mean,
Yeah,
it
yeah. I don't know. I mean, I can say like just watching the game, he had time to make throws, which is surprising. But at the same time, like you said, just you see the throws once he have the time. You like Lamar. Like, are you serious?
mhm.
Like, is that the best that you have right now? Especially when we need you, when we need that energy from you to make those plays and give those guys that the ball to make plays for the team and get the team going. I mean, it was yeah. I was unsure what was going on with him.
I'm gonna go ahead I'm gonna go out here and I'm gonna say it because it is what it is. Lamar doesn't look motivated. He looks uninspired. And I don't know what the reason is. It could be because he is tired of the bad offensive line play just as a whole this season. It could be because he's dealt with multiple injuries this season. I'm not calling Lamar a quitter by any means. Like I don't think Lamar is F the football season, but he doesn't look inspired. He doesn't look like he's inspired to play football. He doesn't look motivated to play football for whatever reason, and that's problematic. If your quarterback, and I'm just talking about like look at the Jets game last week too. There's multiple games that we can have this conversation about, and obviously a lot of them, like you said, Glenn, are post injury, post hamstring, but he just don't look like he want to be there. And I don't know what you do with that. If somebody is looking like that they don't want to be there for whatever reason, they don't want to get hurt again, they don't feel like that they're being protected, whatever, then it's a sunk cost. It's a sunk cost of what's the name?
Fallacy.
Fallacy. And that's why I said the season is over. Like I mean, the season is over. They're not good enough, and then he doesn't play with any type of urgency in certain cases. And this is not necessarily me blaming Lamar. This is just me telling you what I see when I watch Lamar Jackson play football in the last few weeks. Luckily for them, they had a stretch of games where they played teams that were bad. Well, Joe Burrow came back today. And offensively, they're still really good. And so everybody was like, oh, this should be a W. I never thought that. I never thought for 1 second that this was going to be a W because I never trusted what they could do, particularly on that offensive line. And then when you add insult to injury, there's so many things about the play calling that confuse me, and I'm not just talking about the run game in terms of like not bringing Derrick Henry in or whatever. The sequences is off. They allow everybody else to dictate what they're supposed to do, which I have a huge problem with, as opposed to just sticking with the plan. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to escape the plan and you're only down 3 points or even one score. And I just felt like that they just allowed teams all season long to take them out of what it is that they wanted to do coming into a game, as opposed to being the bullies. They're not bullying nobody. They're getting bullied. They're getting bullied in play calling. They're getting bullied in the trenches. And it's just all uninspired football all around, but particularly coming from 8. And it's just really, this has been a very disappointing football season, and this is why people feel the way that they feel when they left that Jets game last week, because they knew that this at some point this was going to come.
No, I mean that's why we reacted the way that we reacted, is because this, to your point, is not stunning. It's just not. And when you saw the line was the Ravens by more than a touchdown this week, you had no idea where that was coming from. It feels like there's some reputation that's still in there that just is not congruent with what we've actually seen of late. Still, I don't think any of us expected them to score 14 points against this Bengals defense. Like, that's the part that you can't shake. And as I alluded to, there's goofiness in there and points that were there to be had that weren't. But I don't know what to make of it. I'm going to get to some of the comments here in a second. Tyus, we are clearly at the point where it almost feels like this kind of doesn't matter, that we know the answer. This team just isn't good enough, and it is what it is. Are we being over dramatic in feeling that way, or do we have enough evidence at this point that we have every right to feel like we have the answer, that whatever were to happen the rest of the regular season, there's just no way to think that this team has it in them to put something together?
I mean, I don't think you're overreacting. I mean, when you're talking about a Bengals defense that hasn't been good all year, an offense that's been struggling to keep, their quarterback healthy and trying to figure out their identity on offense, and Joe Burrow comes out of nowhere and has this type of game just running up and down the field, and your defense creates, 5 turnovers, in the game. I mean, you're not expecting that at all, but especially when you got number 8 back there. So to see that and not see any type of response from this team, and to continue to turn over the ball, continue to give up passes, continue to give up big time runs. I mean, I don't think you're overreacting at this, because, I mean, you expect better. You've seen better throughout the whole season. And for you to not be able to respond, especially when it's a divisional opponent that you supposed to win against, to help you push forward towards a possibility in the playoffs, and you don't show any type of fight, especially in your quarterback. I mean, I honestly think that this is going to be a very, it's going to be rough. Ain't going to lie to you.
It's
Yeah.
the start of a downfall.
Yeah.
And I think it's a conversation that's going to be pretty loud in the coming weeks, if that's the case. Let me go through some of these comments from Jeff. Disgraceful effort by the entire team. It was a total team loss. We are just not as good as the fans would like us to be. I do think it's important that, like, when we point this out, we're hard on Lamar. We're hard on, but yeah, there's no. I don't know who walks out of this game and says, yeah, well, it's not on me. I mean, like, it was on every layer of this football team. I mean, I don't even know individual. Maybe Mark Andrews had a half decent game. I mean,
Jeezy's boy Jordan Stout was pretty good again.
I don't know the one.
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
I didn't even think this was his best
Can you
game.
stop? Get off of him. He stinks. Okay, stinks. Why every time? Like you get credit. You get credit for. You should lose points for how many balls you should hit inside the 20, and you kick it into the end zone. He has no touch on the football. He had a good couple of weeks. He stinks.
I don't know what this comment from Jeff Strebeck tweeted out, that Harbaugh said the turnover issues are on him.
Good. Yeah, they are.
I mean, I mean,
They are. It's all on him.
sure.
Yeah, he's the one out there running and throwing the ball. Okay.
Like I guess that's
Gotcha.
just him trying to be like the coach. Like it's all on me. Put it all on me, I guess. But what a particularly odd one to try to put on the coach. Like I don't know. Again, there's lots of things that I can say about coaching and game planning and that tonight, but that's a weird one. Tom, don't make excuses. Has anybody attempted to make an excuse? Have we? Am I missing something? Has anybody on this show attempted to make an excuse about it? I think we've all kind of said it was an ass kicking and everybody stunk. Like I think we've been avoiding excuses. John, did I not say last week that if we lose in the next 3 games or 2 of the 3, it will be because we're out coached? I mean, they were probably out coached tonight. I don't think it was just that they were out coached. The players on the field got their asses kicked. I mean,
Outplayed.
like
Outplayed.
I'll play
Yeah,
that
the
out.
coaches.
They were.
I didn't love the coaches,
yeah.
but it's only so much the coaches can do. Coaches, look,
Exactly.
John Harbaugh can sit here and say the turnovers is on him. It's not. Turnovers ain't on him. He don't go out there and have a touchdown that's really a touchback because he don't know how to hold on to football. He don't have 3 turnovers by his quarterback. Like, thank John Harbaugh for trying to stick up for his guys. That's
Right.
what the coach is supposed to do.
Yeah.
But
Bless you.
come on, like, all right, let's be for real.
Yeah.
I will say this. I thought offensively, I thought Al Golden outcoached Mr. Moncton tonight.
I mean, maybe. Like
I don't know where were the adjustments? For the pressure that they brought. I don't know who. I wanted to ask this of Tyus. It's usually the center's responsibility for protection calls, right?
Yes.
They were awful tonight.
It could be him. It could be him and Lamar as well.
And Lamar, I just like they had no idea where people were coming from. There were free guys, way too much when they were, 4 coming.
Yeah, the third down sack that knocked him out of that one again. Going back to the point, I do agree. I think some of that
is at the line. You see him make the change, make the change of the play, and you don't. And so,
I mean,
I didn't.
I would say this. I'll say this.
That bothered me tonight.
So with some of those, especially like with what's his name, Joseph Aside, like when he had that sack, that's just one of those reads that Lamar has to throw the ball quick because Ronnie has to get the closest guy inside because he's going to be the fastest. He's going to be the first person to get to Lamar. So Lamar has to be able to see that and throw that ball out quick. But whether that receiver wasn't open, whether he didn't turn his head around quick enough, or whatever it is, like that was on Lamar not being able to get the ball out quick. Now the other ones, I can honestly say that the offensive line has struggled with handling blitzes and knowing where they're coming from. And it really showed tonight. But I know for sure, like a lot of those come to being able to read who's coming off and who's going to be that extra guy and being alerted that if he comes and know that he got to get that ball out quick.
That one is infuriating. And to the point, the first fumble, again, back when this was a 7-3 game and the Ravens had scored on their first drive and then they had gotten a stop and it looked like things were going well. That first fumble is just, it was brought up earlier, it's just him running around. It's just him running nowhere. Like running nowhere at all.
Well, I mean, that was that the one where he lost the ball and they caught it?
It was in the area.
Yes.
So that one was a game. So they ran the game and they didn't get it switched off right. And he hit that B gap and got around and was able to get to him quicker. So I mean, that's on the guard and the tackle being able to see that game and pass it on and not allow him to get beat in that gap. And that's why Lamar had to run because he's seen.
Well, but he's running back to the middle of the field and there's nothing there. Like there's just nothing there. And this goes back to the conversation of like it just feels like right now you're running play. And look, man, the one that he ended up hitting, it was back to Likely right in the middle of the field was a 9-second play that he kept alive. And we all know that's what Lamar is capable of doing, and we understand that's the difference. But boy, when it's not necessary, when things are going your way, it just felt like you were trying to force something right in front of your own goal line that simply wasn't there and wasn't coming available to you in that spot. And
Yeah,
you're
and he
right.
seen that running back out there. He tried to get it to him, but it was just the worst timing where he tried to throw it out and he hit his arms at the right time and got the ball out. But just rough timing.
From Bill, constantly shooting themselves in the foot offensively. Whose fault is it is above my pay grade. Roster construction is a problem. No pass rush is the biggest issue tonight. Another wasted year. It's definitely an issue tonight. I don't know if it's the biggest issue tonight. It's really hard for me to judge any one issue against
I just feel like
another.
we can say that there's multiple things, right?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
and look, how you tier it is
yeah.
up to you. But it doesn't change that there are multiple issues with the 2025 Ravens that need to be rectified in the offseason because there's really nothing you can do about it right now. They are who they are. It's not going to change. And so you hope that this is a learning lesson for them. You hope. You hope. But I don't know how confident we feel about that.
Well, I just don't even know that even if they learn, I just don't know if they're good enough to do anything about it, right?
What do you mean by that?
When you say that if this can be a learning lesson for them, so what are they learning? What's better next week because of
No,
this?
I said year.
Oh,
The
you mean the
year,
year.
the
Got
season
it.
Yeah,
is over.
next
Got
year.
it. Got it.
Okay,
Okay.
the
All right.
season is done. Okay, let's move along. Like
Rita,
I'm
I
here
understand, but they
at
still
here,
have to play a
at
game
this
next
point, I'm
week.
here so I don't get fined. I literally am here so I don't get fined. I people was mad. People was arguing at the game. I'm sitting at the game. People arguing. With Isaiah about the Isaiah Likely situation, whatever. Hey, and they was arguing for like 10 minutes about that, and I'm just sitting here just smiling because you know why? I'm at peace, everybody. I'm at peace. And when you at peace, nothing can stop you and steal your joy. The Baltimore Ravens cannot steal my joy. Okay, I had a great Thanksgiving. My food was good. I saw Little John. I got a gravy boat. I got a lot of things to be thankful for. The Ravens losing ain't gonna ruin my day, and they're not gonna ruin the rest of my Sundays either. They're just not. And we just got to come to terms with who they are. And as soon as people do that, the better we are. So then we are not as disappointed. I mean, we were disappointed when they was like 1-5. Now it's just we just along for the ride. I'm just being honest. Like, don't let these people get your blood pressure up. They not if they get to the playoffs, they not going far. Okay, so just enjoy or not enjoy what's left of the season. But to expect anything to be different from what we saw tonight, last week, or all the other losses that they've had is delusional. And I don't want you to be delusional. I want you to be honest. Be real with yourself and enjoy your Sundays from here on out.
I understand where you're coming from, but they're still gonna play the games, and
Yes, and I'm just saying, don't get upset. Don't get upset by the result. That's all I'm saying. Don't get upset. They're
if
gonna
you're
disappoint you.
if you're feeling sluggish, unfocused, or not like yourself, it might be because you're emotionally too invested. But it also could be low testosterone. At Gameday Men's Health, they specialize in testosterone replacement therapy to help men boost energy, improve mood, and regain confidence. Our treatments, including testosterone cypionate, are safe, natural, and tailored to fit your lifestyle with weekly injections or pellet therapy. Give them a call on Owings Mills, 443-264-4454, Columbia, 443-266-3505, or Frederick, 240-931-3717, or visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com. Ask them about a complimentary testosterone test. Sam, why is it that all year Bateman gets 0 targets? Legit 0 targets. As a coach, you need to get your receivers looks to keep them in the game.
He had a target.
I believe you.
Yeah, I definitely
That
remember the
definitely
ball being
happened. He
thrown his
definitely
way
had
at
a
least
target. He
once.
overthrew him. He had a target.
I didn't see him play that much.
He officially had the 1 target. That's the
Yeah.
one.
I mean,
That's officially what
should he
he
have
had.
got more? Yeah, sure. I'm cool with that. But he had a target. I saw it.
I think one of the things we had talked about the last couple of weeks, and if you want me to throw out again, nitpicking about any one of these things seems silly because this game was a disaster, but one of the things we had discussed the last couple of weeks was the idea that it might have been hurting them in trying to get the ball out quicker to not have Rashad Bateman to work the middle of the field. And so you had Rashad Bateman back, and to not purposely try to use more slants, more quick throws to Rashad Bateman in the middle of the field, yeah, I got no problem having an issue with that. Again, it's hard to get particularly worked up about any particular thing about this game, but sure, that's something that you would have liked to have seen them do, getting Rashad Bateman back out on the field, and given the fact that the offensive line isn't very good, and trying to, adjust to that. I would have liked to have seen that. They didn't do it. So I'll agree with you on that, Sam.
Did we get any explanation, by the way, on the changing of the guards? Quite literally,
it clearly was just a rotation.
He came back because Voorhees came back in the game.
Right, but what was that, an injury thing, or was it just a rotational thing? Because it was a little strange to me.
I think it was throwing stuff against the wall and see what sticks.
Well, to be fair, that he had alluded earlier this week when, instead of being mad about it, questions about the offensive line, he had said that was something they were considering, was that they were going to consider going to rotation, and they did. So, I definitely, a lot of us wanted to see Emory Jones play. We wanted to see him get on the field. And I don't know, maybe in 2 weeks, Emory Jones will look a little bit better than he looked tonight. Tonight, it was, he looked like he wasn't ready.
He got his name in the box score. He had a holding call against him.
It looked like he played his first NFL game.
Yeah, tonight it looked like.
Which is what we knew that was going to probably happen to begin with. Which is why he should have did last week against the Jets. But what do I know?
Hopefully, he gets a little bit more the NFL speed. I did think it was definitely weird that it was Voorhees, right? Like, you want to have that conversation. The weird part is that the rotation was at left guard, where I think we had all kind of felt like Andrew Voorhees was playing better in recent weeks. And so I think it was strange that it was at left guard and not at right guard that they were doing the rotation. But that might be about Tyus. Can you speak to that? Is that possible that Emory Jones is just more comfortable on the left side of the offensive line? That part.
I think it might be the case. I think it might be the case. Like I said, he's a tackle, so for him to try to mix in and mix out, it's like put him in a space where he's most comfortable. If he's not good enough to be able to play there at this moment, just don't put him out there and just work with what you have, or find somebody else that can do it. But trying to put him out there as a rookie and don't know what he's doing is a recipe for disaster.
It's what it is. It's what it is. Yes, thank you, Joe. I did not mention that John Harbaugh said that Nate Wiggins could miss time, but not a long-term thing, is the way that he worded it. Chandler Martin, who was just activated from the practice squad, has a significant knee injury. Justice Hill, who went on IR, dealing with a disc issue in his neck, which is a reminder that you always have to be very careful as a broadcaster when you say bulging disc. Always something you need to be careful about in this business. But he's dealing with a disc issue. But he says not long term for Nate Wiggins.
Do you think Lamar needs to start practicing on Wednesdays? Talk about consistency. Be out there with the offense more. Is that a thing?
I have no idea. You want to share a thought?
Yeah, I have no idea either. He's the MVP, so it's like, I'm sure this is not his first time not practicing on a Wednesday, so I have no idea.
It is,
but the fact that it's been like 3 or 4 weeks,
but it's really difficult for me to gauge that versus them trying to have a plan to keep him on the field health-wise. And look, at some point, the weird part about tonight is, last week I was convinced the problem is Lamar's not healthy. Like that, I was convinced on Sunday that the answer was Lamar's not healthy. I can't really say that tonight. Lamar looked better health-wise. He looked more mobile. He looked, I don't know, man. This just looked like he didn't play well. So I have no idea what the line is between the need to keep him healthy versus the need to find rhythm. I also don't think that one day of practice is going to be the difference. It's very difficult for me to believe that that's going to be the difference in whether or not he looks or this offense looks a whole lot better. Casey, when will people? Oh, this is Casey Willett, our old friend, Casey Willett. When will people discuss DaCosta and some of the guys he has spent money on?
I've been talking about it. I've been saying that there's a personnel problem.
Well, okay, but the way that Casey asked it specifically, who that he spent money on would we say is a problem?
I don't personally have a problem. I have a problem with him not spending money on.
Well, that's what I'm trying to
pass
figure.
rushers, offensive linemen, or draft picks, collateral. Let me say that. My issue is not who he spent money on. My issue is who he ain't spending money on. That's my issue.
I have no comment.
Thank you. Yeah,
you have to. Yeah. Tyus gonna sit this one out.
Thank you, buddy.
But they don't have any money. I mean, you say that, Rita, and I agree with you, but maybe part of the problem is that they spend so much money on a middle linebacker that doesn't rush the passer.
Nah, they cleared up some cap space before the trade deadline.
What I don't know what their cap number is, but I don't you had some. They didn't restructure as much as I thought they were going to restructure this year, I guess.
Well, but you just brought up the line. Like, if you want to, specifically the conversation that Casey, the way that he asks it, if you want to have a conversation about what they're getting from Roquan vis-a-vis what they're paying him, that's absolutely a fair conversation to have. Now, do I put that on DaCosta versus putting that on Roquan himself? Like, I think the guy that we saw, the Roquan Smith that we all saw, the Tyus lined up next to, that guy was worth paying $20 million a year. That guy was a game changer. He was a wrecker. He was best player on the football field player. And you want to follow that up by saying right now he's not that? I got no problem saying that. That doesn't mean that I think that Roquan Smith is their biggest issue, but I don't think I'm out of line saying Roquan Smith is not playing like a $20 million a year linebacker at the moment. He's not been a wrecker. I mean, he was in the Browns game earlier this season, right? Like he was dominant that day, and he's had good games. But on the whole, am I out of line? Tyus, am I out of line for saying that I don't think Roquan Smith is playing like a $20 million a year player at the moment?
No, you're not wrong. I can definitely see, just throughout the year, he's kind of, like you said, like beforehand, he was moving all over the place. Like he was locked in. He was making those plays that we didn't even think he was able to make, but he made it anyway. And it's just not for him right now in the moment. So, I mean, I definitely agree with you where looking at the games throughout the past couple weeks, he hasn't been the Roquan that I know that he's capable of being. And I'm sure through film, he probably thinks the same way because he knows that he can probably play a little bit better in certain situations, certain plays or plays that he should have made and he didn't. I'm sure he's aware of that. So yeah, I believe that right now he's just not playing as a $20 million man.
So if we want to put that one on Eric DaCosta, I get it. If your argument is just that's why you never pay an off-ball linebacker like that type of money, someone would say that, and it's a complicated conversation, which I would say the guy that we saw, to me, none of us thought it was a bad idea to pay that guy $20 million a year. The guy that we saw changed this football team when he arrived. But yeah, you're not getting that out of him. So is that on the way that DaCosta spent the money? Is that on the player who's just not playing at the highest level? It's a fair question. In case I got no problem talking about it.
I mean, I can definitely say through certain times when Marlon got paid, he probably wasn't playing at his best during certain times. When Ronnie got paid, he probably had his moments of not playing good. I'm sure Lamar had his moments as well. But I mean, I think that's just everybody. But we can all admit that we have those moments where, hey, he's just not playing good right now. You know what I'm saying? So I think that kind of just goes for everybody. Everybody's went through that phase.
It's an interesting conversation. It's not really going to, it doesn't have anything to do with what happens next week against the Steelers, but it's an interesting conversation. about construction. And what area would you have if you would have looked to have saved somewhere to spend more on the offensive line? I guess is the question that if we want to make this more micro, I don't know where you would have liked to have saved that money in order to spend more. Reed, I get what you're saying, that there was cap space, but there just weren't any offensive linemen that were dealt before at the trade deadline. So I don't know that you had the opportunity to upgrade there at the
You
deadline.
probably didn't, but you had a whole off season, and you could, like you said, the not restructuring part of it is weird, because you did have an opportunity to restructure some people and you didn't do that. And
is that a greater question about the Ravens' reluctance to ever go all in on one particular season and to pay a price for that and to have to make salary cap decisions afterwards, and that maybe that's the frustration that we're feeling, that, hey, you needed to go all in to upgrade the line and you didn't, and you're paying for that. And, we thought that the Rams were going to be in hell for a decade after what happened to them cap-wise. It turns out they just drafted really well, and they look like the best team in football.
And look, I'm not suggesting that the Ravens beat the Rams. We know that they're never going to be the Rams, right? We know that they're never going to be a team that's going to forfeit multiple first-round draft picks. That's just not who they are. However, I think that it's fair to say that, like, the Rams are a well enough run organization, and they have a quarterback situation that they feel like at any given moment they can be a contender. And I think that in the Lamar Jackson era, you should be doing more of that. Again, I'm not suggesting they got to be first round draft picks, but higher draft picks or so. You got to do what you got to do to try to get to the promised land. And personally, in my opinion, they've been a little too conservative and just letting Lamar be the one that carries
lifted everything else up. Right?
I just don't think that that's fair. And as he gets older, he's just not going to be able to do the same things that he has been able to do his 2019 season or even 2 seasons ago. So they need to start worrying about how do you elongate the career of Lamar Jackson now, this offseason and beyond. It has to happen, because if it doesn't, good luck to everybody involved. You're going to shorten that young man's career.
Tom brings up, is Carl Lawson ever going to play? What a wasted pickup. I got to be honest with you. I did not have a lot of expectations for Carl Lawson.
He played tonight. He got a bunch of snaps.
Yeah,
He wasn't effective.
Yeah, right. Like that's
I mean, he played, but I mean, he did play. I mean, they had him ready. They did. But you can say that for I loved. This is Jones's worst game. I didn't notice him at all tonight.
Yeah.
So I don't. He did play. Streak free agents that missed the first 11 weeks of the season usually don't come in and make an impact in week 13. So I don't know what you expected from him to begin with.
I know one that's still available. I'm just saying.
I
know one that.
I think there's we won't get into that.
I
think everybody here would love that tomorrow, but
I know one. All right.
No comment.
He's just sitting there just smiling.
Yeah, right. Is there anything we didn't cover that we needed to cover from
Yes, I would like to cover Tyus's do-rag and Andrew's Scully. Andrew, like Caleb the other day, looks like the lumberjack meme.
Lumberjack, I like the look.
Looks like the lumberjack meme from the Buffalo Bill lumberjack meme that goes around on Twitter. He looks just like him. So shout out to the do-rag and shout out to the Scully with the
Tyus kind of has a, can we talk about Tyus kind of has a LeBron James
Hey man,
going on.
I just got a fade the other day, so I got to keep these away. Do I need to pull out this? Do I need to pull it off right now so you can see?
Okay.
Hey, man.
You don't have to.
I'm not swimming in nothing, but like I just got a fresh fade, so you know what I'm saying.
Oh, look at that! That's clean. Oh.
I got to make sure that
the waves is intact.
I got to keep it laid down. I got to make sure I'm good.
Arizona, I'm confused.
Hey man, it gets chilly out here at night.
It gets chilly out here at Spare Me.
Especially because I don't have a fade to show off under here. It's all bald.
Yeah. Tyus has a LeBron thing going on. I kind of dig it. I kind of dig it. He's in his LeBron
Hey,
era.
Except he
without the
don't have
receding hair, I
face.
don't have no receding hairline
That's
though.
true.
The
No
hairline is
Beijing.
here.
No
No
Beijing.
pain, no Beijing. Look,
No
look, look.
Beijing. No
No,
Beijing.
no Beijing. We good.
God, who is it? Who is it that keeps rubbing
It's
off on
Jaylen
all
Brown.
the?
Jaylen
Thank
Brown.
you, Jaylen Brown. God, God.
Fake hairline.
Oh, it's criminal what Jaylen Brown's doing to these guys out there. He should be arrested for it. Oh, it's a mess. All right. I gotta be awake again in 3 hours, so this was fun.
KZ, who you demote
Oh
for
yeah,
today?
KZ's got to demote somebody. Thank you. Look at Tyus running the show.
Tyus on it. I'm ready. Mr. Moncton.
I love that he's
Moncton, Maryland.
Moncton. He's Todd Moncton.
Yeah. Call better game. I'll get your name right. I probably won't, but
You know,
God.
I won't get his name right. But you're awful. You're awful. Your lack of understanding of what another team is doing to you, and the lack of getting your best players on the field, or going to max protect or whatever. It was awful. Terrible play calling. Terrible adjustments. You got to go.
Oh boy, he wants to fire him. He doesn't just want to.
Yeah,
demote
you
him,
got to
he wants
go.
to
You got
fire him right
because
now.
you haven't been good. You haven't been good this year.
I don't disagree with that.
You haven't been good. You haven't been good.
Not,
You know.
We all
Who's our
do
new OC?
recognize though that if they miss the playoffs, that is that is what's going to happen. Like it's going to be him and not Harbaugh.
Well, that's a different discussion. But
No, I think but I think that's exactly like
it's going to be
what you're talking about.
it's going to be the first thing. I agree with you. But
we'll have plenty of time to do that show.
I was going to say tonight is not the night for that.
Don't forget the best place to watch every big game is Inside Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel. And if you or a loved one has a gambling problem, 1-800-GAMBLER, helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. We'll get through it somehow, some way. Be like Rita. Don't get emotionally invested. Don't make rash decisions. Just drink out of your gravy boat or whatever. And
can't wait to use my gravy boat, baby. I cannot wait to use.
Do you have it nearby, Rita? I kind of want to see it.
Oh, I have it. Would you like to see my gravy boat?
Yes. Yeah, I want to see it.
Okay, hold on.
Absolutely.
Real quick. Let me do my unveiling of my gravy boat.
Ben's like, I got to get up in 45 minutes.
All right, listen, I ain't going to make it long, okay? Wait, I got to turn my
sleeping on the smallest couch.
Oh shoot, it's still in the styrofoam. All right. I guess we.
Hold on. Give me a second. I still had it in the box, y'all.
There we go.
Gravy boat. Look at my gravy boat.
It is a really great gravy boat. I'm not gonna lie about that.
Listen,
too bad we have to burn the uniform.
Y'all, I got a gravy boat.
Oh Lord. All right. Love you guys. Happy Thanksgiving. We'll do it all again in 10 days.